welcome to Ephemeral Radio, and let's get started with our first piece. So today you'll be hearing all different kinds of audio work that the students in the class have been working on, and some of them may be more literal, some of them may be a little bit more ambiguous as to how they refer to ephemerality, but more or less it's an exploration of time and how we choose to define a moment, how people end up defining themselves and defining the places that they live in. And even though, a city might change over time, people who are from that city still feel a connection to it and still feel in a way like they belong, longing for identity, and that, no matter who you are, what you are, you're going to have a certain team that's your team, and that will definitely define who you are in a more public spectrum, whether that's school or, whatever. In a moment like that, you're so jostled, you're so sort of thrown out of your comfort zone, and I think sound is probably one of the first senses that you kind of, gain consciousness of again. Regardless, time seems to sort of be irrelevant in a moment like that. As artists too, I think that we have the power to choose what the viewer gets to experience in a piece and how much information they can get from a piece. By choosing to only use sound, for example, to explain a moment, to recreate a scene, you're really allowing the viewer to explore that work and to have their own perceptions play a part in their experience. Human existence has no meaning or purpose, and therefore sort of all communication breaks down. It at least allows the public's sense of reality and time to be suspended for a moment and imagine themselves in situations like that, or in the case of Romeo Echo Delta or War of the Worlds, question their own lives. Very powerful stuff, I think. Our next piece on Ephemeral Radio also looks at ways that we can perceive information. However, I think this piece is a lot more voyeuristic and fragmented. All right, well, that is actually the conclusion of work for our Ephemeral Radio Day here at Discover Radio. I'd just like to shout out to Andy here, who is the manager of Discover Radio, and of course our teachers Pernilla Spence and Mark Vernon, who are our tutors for the Exploring Ephemeral Practices class. This has been a really excellent opportunity for us to showcase our work and to be able to have a discussion about some of the things that connect ephemerality to radio, and even in a broader context, how ephemera can play such a large part in our perception of ourselves, of time passing, and how those two things can relate to one another.